Bitcoin stock has been surging in the U.S. following Donald Trump's presidential victory. On Tuesday, the price of the world's largest cryptocurrency, or unregulated digital money, exceeded $89,000 for the first time ever. That's a nearly 30% increase in the last week alone. Bitcoin is one of several cryptocurrencies that have been booming as investors anticipate a more crypto-friendly environment under the incoming Trump administration. For more on this, I want to bring in Brady Dale. He's a crypto reporter for Axios and author of the Axios Crypto newsletter. Brady, can you be more specific about what environment investors are expecting? What has Trump promised to do?
I think the main thing is he's promised to just get out of the way of the industry. So the Biden administration has been suing all the best companies like Coinbase and OpenSea, the best-known companies in the space. And Trump says he doesn't want to do that. He wants to, find a way for the industry to thrive and grow here in the United States.
He also has promised to make the United States the crypto capital of the planet and to accumulate a national stockpile of Bitcoin.
Yeah.
What does that mean? Would that be a good or bad thing? What are the pros and cons?
Well, so what a lot of people don't realize is the U.S. actually is already one of the biggest holders of Bitcoin in the world because it seized so much Bitcoin from different cyber criminals and hackers and folks like that. So the first thing Trump says he's going to do is he's going to quit selling that Bitcoin. And obviously, when there's less supply and there's more demand, that makes the price go up. So, Bitcoin holders are excited about this idea of this not being dumped on the market any longer because that'll be good for them long term. Now, going beyond that, they could start accumulating Bitcoin, which would take an act of Congress, but that remains to be seen if that happens.
And so could that also become controversial because that essentially means Congress would be allocating money toward the national stockpile of Bitcoin and not toward other interests?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. And also it's a pretty bold moment for a major nation like the United States to say, we're getting behind this weird new financial technology. Now, some other nations have done it, but they're little nations like Bhutan and El Salvador. So if the United States government said, we're into Bitcoin and we want to be, net holders over time, that would be a big endorsement of the currency, but it is still new technology. So that's a big move.
So unknowns there. In 2019, Trump posted on X that the U.S. dollar is, quote, the most dominant currency anywhere in the world, and it will always stay that way. Have his views changed? Does cryptocurrency pose a threat to the U.S. dollar?
Well, since then, I don't think it does. I mean, there are some ways in which you could argue it does, but specifically on demand for the dollar, it actually turns out that cryptocurrency has been great for dollars. So in the Trump administration, stablecoins, which is this kind of cryptocurrency which is backed by actual dollars in some bank or whatever somewhere, there's only about $5 billion of those out there when he left office. Now there's almost $200 billion of those. And it's not the main use case, but lots of normal people all over the world in countries like Turkey and Argentina, where their local currencies have a lot of inflation, are buying stable coins as a way to protect the wealth that they've gleaned. And that's just obviously demand for dollars, right?
We could have a whole other show on that. That's fascinating.
Sure.
But I do want to discuss crypto mining. How does it work, and does it pose environmental threats or impacts?
So the only cryptocurrency that really uses mining in a big way, I mean, there's a couple others, but it's really just Bitcoin. It's entirely Bitcoin, the world's largest cryptocurrency. And look, I would argue it doesn't pose unique environmental threats. It just uses electricity. It's not like it generates any particular kind of pollution from doing crypto mining. And in fact, Bitcoin miners are, in the U.S., we've hardly added any new sources of power in the last 40 years. With the rise of AI, clearly that's going to change. But building new power sources is a risky venture, and Bitcoin miners are always ready to be those first customers, whether that's for a nuclear power plant, a wind farm, a solar farm. And so it's an industry that's actually been helpful to get new, greener sources of power off the ground. If folks are concerned about energy, they should worry about a high-tech grid. We have a very bad grid in the United States. That's really what's holding back energy development. Bitcoin is not really an issue for climate change.
Okay, Brady Dale, thank you so much.
Thank you.